Hello Internet, hello War of the Visions fans, I'm Jackie Fox, and I gotta get used to this whole idea of anniversary in October, Hallowversary, Halloween anniversary, because it's definitely, at least for us global players, a kind of a brand new worldwide phenomenon, and that this is actually the JP anniversary, the anniversary of this game starting, period, not just when we started to be able to play it. And with the Reincarnation Festival and with the 4th anniversary, I'm really excited with all the bonuses that we're getting. And first is you'll see that story hard quests, the drops for these, at least for our characters, for our unit shards, and this is going to help us with our Reincarnation Festival. Well, oh man, the suspense is killing me, but hopefully you've noticed that those drops have been tripled. So 2 runs is going to get you 6 shards for any characters, and if you do have them and plan on playing them, I highly recommend slotting in the Reincarnation Festival units for reasons I'll show you later. But this was supposedly a thing that was supposed to only go for the Reincarnation Fest units, and also an event that I have been saving these the limited shardlesses for. Because now they're doing double duty. Did you see how many shards I just got from that, or how many I collected from letting it run for a day? Double drop rate for those shards as well, in addition to this free banner, which is going to get you 10 shards for one of the Reincarnation Fest units and 9 others that are usually pretty common. All of this is coming together, in addition to your ability to pity any of these. So if you didn't get Dialdo or Roth or Perrine or Vega, you want one of these units, although I would really recommend probably Dialdo or Roth really out of them. They would probably be worth pitying here because it is so hard to get them in other means. And for this account, I'm definitely going hard after Dialdo, and in fact, completely ran out of Viz summoning for this boy, like completely. So, you know, looking at all of these units, these are going to be the ones that are getting all sorts of bonuses, and we'll continue to talk about what those bonuses are. There's even a pull where you can get their mind spheres, and this is one of the reasons, and I'll talk about this a bit later, that I'm not as into Lucio, because I mean, you could get Halloween Lucia. She's a pretty cool unit. There's also Halloween Little Leela. You know, so there's some great units on this banner that aren't him. There's also Gernsback right now, who I managed to free pull on my water account. Very happy about that. I'm happy to have him. I think he's a good unit, but definitely not one that I would have like actually spent Viz to pull. I'll probably spend some building him up because he's great, but I wouldn't have pulled him necessarily. And that's a cool limit burst. But moving on, there were also a number of 10 pulls with you are guaranteed. Those I've all already done. I had just a blast pulling for those and left some of the MR stuff for later, so I can't really show you that. But there's also a collection of tickets that I'll show you in a little bit that, there's just so many of them that I'm accumulating, and I'm not really sure how to use them yet. Maybe that'll come next week, in which case I'm going to have a lot of pulls for that. I think I'm up to maybe 15 tickets per account. You can get 4 or 5 of them per day pretty easily. They've got the rainbow motif, so maybe they're going to be URs. But also, this is a 5 times discount on scrolls, which is also good to help. While we're in the shop though, let's also talk about the Reincarnation Special Shop. This event-based shop is going to be offering you a total of 80 shards for each of the 8 characters, in addition to quite a bit, I think 500, maybe more, of both types of awakening materials as well. And this is going to be split up between 5 different currencies, and I think that 2 of these are really easy to do. Friend and guild medals you want to be a little bit more careful with because they also have similar uses. I think the units that you're buying shards for here are generally better than the free units that are usually offered for that, so spending your Viz this way isn't bad at all, but I would definitely pick out the ones you have and get as many of their shards as you can and as you can afford. The last tab, though, I'd be especially careful with. It does offer some things such as scrolls on a really, really deep discount. and it also offers more shards than the other. In fact, it offers as many shards as all of the other stores combined, in addition to some other items. But this is your soul metal shop, and those are super useful outside of this event. So I would really be cautious about spending all or a lot of those, but at the same time, well, that's basically what I did. So I can't really judge you. And as you can see, this is a pretty steep discount here on scrolls. So let's also talk about some of the new guild options. What you're going to see here is that it's not just guild supremacy, but you have 4 different options now, including subslots. Now, for most people, I wouldn't say that you have to fill out these subslots. These only come in handy. These only are ever used when you face a guild that has more people than you. Whereas previously, there was like a list, and I guess this is still a thing, of defensive priorities, to where, you know, if a guild with 30 players and a guild with only 27 went against each other, then each of them would have 27, but one would have 30 attacks. This actually evens that out a little bit and makes slightly lower numbers, at least 27, can potentially play like 30 now, which is a benefit for a lot of people. But also, you know, these are chosen kind of randomly. I don't think they're chosen by the guild leader, so, or at least from what it seems. So because of that, I would say that not all players need to do this. Unless you're one of the top, ideally, really the top 3 or top 5 or top 10 players in your guild, either on offense or defense, I wouldn't bother doing this. And even if you do, you don't have to do both necessarily. You could, if you think your defense team is stronger, you have a really strong offense team for whatever reason, then just do one or the other. Or just do it because you're a completionist and you want your guild to have more options. But just know that maybe if you're one of the weaker players in your guild, then you might be injecting a weaker team into what is essentially a random pool. Because again, I'm not sure how this is done yet. But what you should be noticing on the screen behind me is that for Reincarnation Festival units, the reincarnation cost for them is now only 10 scrolls. This isn't a permanent change, and it is a change that I wish the game saw in general, but unfortunately other units did not get this bonus. There are also event-specific missions that will give you both items, both energy, 300 free energy a day, in addition to the 600 that we already get just for doing a mission that's also going to give you a ton of rewards itself. But also doing 10 event missions per day is going to give you one of these tickets. Haven't quite figured out how to spend them, as I said, but I am accumulating them, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with them because they do seem like UR tickets themselves. So I'm hoping to get some really nice rewards out of those. But just all said, if you have any of the 8 units that are a part of the Reincarnation Festival, this is the time to be reincarnating them just to save yourself scrolls. And because it is so much more efficient to be reincarnating them now, that's a really good time to do their hard quests or put them in your barracks, because you want to be building up those shards as quickly as you can. So remember to check out the Reincarnation shop, and if somehow, even with all of this, you find yourself running out of scrolls, those are also maybe even more deeply discounted. Like, if you want to take advantage of this long term and don't necessarily want to get the most bang for your buck, or don't necessarily want to build up one of these 8 characters, because those options are kind of limited, then you could just buy the deeply, deeply discounted scrolls and save those up for characters that you do want to build in the future, or maybe a new and unreleased character that we haven't even seen yet. But all of that being said, I'm just going to blow the rest of this energy and have some fun. So y'all can stick around for that. That's perfectly fine. But I just want to say, as far as like information, the video is over. Thank you for watching. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so that you can see more of it. Ring the bell, apparently, is a thing that I've supposed to have been saying for like the last 10 years, but I don't know. I'm too insecure to think that I'm important enough to ring the bell. But if you want information on wotv and Ever Crisis in a not so timely manner, because I do have other things to do in my life, but also try to make information that's going to be supplementary to most of the big channels that you see. So not typically stuff like this where it's just announcements, but there are just a lot of things that you could use strategically together because of this event to really push your account in really meaningful ways, especially for newer players if you have some of these characters at least. But for everybody else, I just wanted to make sure that you heard about this especially. And If you appreciate that, go ahead, tell me thank you in the comments, or something, anything to cue to YouTube that people like engaging with this content, and that maybe they should recommend more of it. Just trying to grow the channel so that I can direct more people to my day job, which is writing books. And I have a number of books that are actually linked to and available through my Linktree, link in the description. Also, links to other podcasts, video channels, such like that. All parts of the Jackie Fox media empire. This month, in a couple of days, I'm almost done recording it. I'm going to have a Halloween episode of Jackie Fox, Fox Talks After Dark. I've made that subliminal substitution a couple of times. Fox Talks After Dark. That podcast is going to have an episode on some Halloween baddies, both the zombies and the vampires, the history of such, the untold stories, the deep, deep lore, all of that. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to have a horror nerd on to help me talk about this stuff. So we're going to have different perspectives and just a lot of information. So if you too are a horror nerd or aspiring horror nerd or just getting into the Halloween spirit this year, you know, be sure to check out that link in the description so that you can participate in the Fox Talks After Dark Halloween special. And well, you know what, I guess at this point I just thank you for watching again and say, you know, see you in the next one.